everyone, and welcome back to Master Site. Today we got a new event for you. First time for me, we got Crossroads GT. We're going to be going over the player pack and all the info we need for that. And then we'll go over lists. Yeah, not just my list, but the team. So yeah, we got a lot to go through. So let's jump right in here. So, for those that don't know, Crossroads is a four-player team tournament. I am on a team with three other teammates. Our team is Team Dropping Tro. We got Eric Trowbridge, Shannon Shoemaker, myself, and Roger. Roger is one of Eric's clubmates, buddies out of Ohio. And I haven't met Roger before. He only usually participates in some more local events around his area. So, really excited to meet him. Sounds like an awesome guy. Been messaging with him in a group chat, and I think, we're just going to have a blast. So that is our team of four. We are the Midwest / Mountain region team. I think every other team is either Northeast or Mid Atlantic. I don't even know if there is a Southeast team. There's Canadians there. I don't know if we count them, but yeah. So we are the only team from the Western region, as it were. So let's go ahead and take a look at what a four-player team tournament looks like. So we still have 5 games, pretty standard. Everybody in our team brings their own 2,300 point army. Teams will have one person to be their captain. For Team Dropping Tro, it's obviously Eric Trowbridge. That's our captain. And then we make our own army lists, but we can't duplicate or have more than duplicates. So for our team, it doesn't matter. We all took an unique army, but a team can't have 4 goblin players or 4 dwarf players. You can only have a max of 2 of an individual army, and then it has to be different armies for the other 2 players. But each of us plays our own game each round, and then we're going to combine the scores. So the way that kind of works out is in the pairings system. So this is brand new to me, so I'm just kind of going straight from this. I've never experienced this before, though, and I'm definitely excited about it. There's essentially a matchup process that happens before our rounds, and our captain is kind of in charge of that. So once team pairings are determined, the captains will meet. Each captain has 4 index cards that look the same on one side, but they'll have a player on the other side. And then they're going to use those to match. In the example here, we have Team A, Team B, and then we'll have essentially as player 1 through 4. So the first thing we do is the captains roll off to determine the winner, essentially who gets the initiative here. So in the example, Team A wins. Next, both teams will nominate 2 players from their groups of 4 in the blind, so they'll have those cards face down. Before those cards are flipped over, Team A, because they won the roll-off, will decide if they wish to choose the matchups between those 4 players or the scenarios for the first 2 pairings. So hypothetically, we'll say they choose the matchups. So we flip it over, and we got player 1 and player 2 for each side. And so Team A decides if their player 1 wants to play the opposing player 1 or the opposing player number 2. And then obviously the other ones will match up. And then immediately after that, Team B, seeing the matchups that were decided, will then choose the scenarios. As we'll see here later, the scenarios aren't unlimited. They're chosen from a limited pool of 6 potential scenarios. So once all of that is figured out for the first round, then we're gonna essentially do it again for the next one. So I skipped ahead a little bit, but so step 4, after Team A decides, they reveal their nominated player. Everybody reveals the nominated players. The team chose will select either the matchup or for their opponent's first round, or they will decide the pairings, and it'll be vice versa. So if Team A deferred and said we're going to decide the pairings, we all flip over our players, and then Team B decides the matchups, and then Team A decides the pairings for that first round of matchups. So step 7, now the team who selected the scenario for the first 4 players must choose the matchups for the remaining 4. So the next 2, so team 3 or player 3 and player 4 for each are put up against each other, and the roles are reversed. So whoever decided matchups, that team is now deciding pairing or deciding scenario, and vice versa for the other team. So seems pretty straightforward, but it also just kind of thinking it over, looking at it, there's a lot of in-depth analysis to that, and then even more in depth as far as building your team and what lists your team was taking. You could go down the rabbit hole as far as tactics and analytics in this whole process, and I'll be honest, our team did not. Our team of 4, we all picked comfort picks as far as armies that we're playing, and we're just sticking to that. And it does kind of happen that some of us prefer choosing a scenario versus an opponent, and others of us prefer a choice of what list we're playing against, and then we'll adjust to scenario. Some of us are a little indifferent, and it probably just depends on the team and the possibilities of the matchups. So there's just a lot to this, and I don't want to bore you with theoretics necessarily, and also, spill all the super secret awesome tactics that we have, because clearly our team's just awesome. But yeah, there's just a lot to that, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about that each round. So my battle reports may in fact be a little bit longer for this particular event because of that part that happens. And then there's actually 20 extra minutes involved at the beginning of each round before we even play our games. That's for this steps 1 through 8, and then I think placing terrain and stuff like that too is a part of that. So yeah, I'm really excited for the event. Like I said, first time playing anything like this, so it just really intrigues me and scratches an itch that hasn't been scratched before. So every table's going to have 10 pieces of terrain. They don't really go into the heights or anything, but I assume it's going to be just normal out of the book heights. So every like kind of how we do. But yeah, as I said, the clocks, we get 65 minutes to actually play our games, but there's 20 minutes extra at the beginning of the round so that we can do the matchups and everything. So scoring. So because it's kind of a unique scenario or unique 4-player team event, there's obviously going to be some different scoring with this. So individual games are scored as normal, and then you compile them into an aggregated team score. So each individual game will be using blackjack scoring method, so max of 21 points. The team will score the sum of each player's battle points for that round. So rounds 1 through 4, you are actually capped at a maximum of 60 points. So in the very unlikely possibility that a team has 4 blackjacks against the other team, you don't get 84 points. You just get 60, except if that was in round 5. And then the minimum points you can get each round is 20. So in that unlikely scenario of you possibly getting 0 points, you actually get 20 points and your opponents only get 60. But round 5 is the exception, uncapped scoring. So, yeah, pretty cool idea. I expect that there will be probably a good number of teams at that 60 point mark for the first, maybe first 1, 2, maybe even 3 rounds. There are a total of 24 teams, which brings us up to 96 players at the event. So it's the largest single event I've been to as far as individual players in the event. Because Masters, it was split up with a best of the rest and the Masters event. So with 24 players, 5 rounds, we should have a single team that is undefeated. But in that last round, there's just a lot of possibilities. You could get less than 60 points. You can get, kind of a 2 wins on one side, 2 wins on the other, and teams will just effectively draw against each other and kind of stall each other out. So it'll be really interesting. So painting, I'm actually borrowing an army, so I haven't. I mean, I don't really care about painting scores a whole lot, but they do have a really cool uh, judging portion where, as a team, you're judged, and then singly you're judged as well. So there's a essentially a paint rubric or total that comes with the whole team of 4, and then each single. Paint score is 20% of the overall score, with the remaining 85%. So I think that's just supposed to be 80%, but maybe there's 105% total that we can put into this. We'll see. For the battle points, so 20% paint. That's even below what I'm normally used to. So painting, modeling, team interactions. So they do have a big thing in here that bystanders or teammates cannot help during the game. The only information you can receive is how the other teams or games have ended. So if you have, your team has 2 wins already, and then the other game ended in a draw, you're probably looking at it like, well, I can just play for a draw or play it more safe. Or if your team's kind of behind and we're tied, we're 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. You got to play for a win probably at that point. So, but yeah, nobody can come over and be like, oh, hey, take that flank charge right there. So there's definitely rules about that. And then the other thing that I thought was fun that I definitely didn't realize until I was just getting ready for this video is that apparently there's a sportsmanship award, which definitely assumed there was. So combined sports votes of your team as a whole, any themed uniforms you have, combo display boards, and intro videos that your team puts together. That sounds like fun. I'm just imagining everybody coming in with like a wedding party where they introduce the teams. They walk into some theme music or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't know what to expect, but there's probably going to be some crazy shit happening. So anyway, for a team event, it's a pretty condensed rule pack and overall, but it definitely has a lot of good information. So this week there was the round 1 pairings were announced. So leading up to this, there was, a lot of smack talk in general on the Facebook page, the group page. I saw nerd hammers and aristocrats and some of these Pokemon masters, just the shambling hordes, a bunch of guys just throwing out, smack talk and whatnot. Um, and I don't. I'll start off by saying I don't know a whole lot of people actually at this event. Of the 94 players, four of them are obviously my teammates, which I don't even know one of my teammates going into this really with Rogers. So of the 90 other players, I'd say there's maybe a dozen, maybe 20 people that I know in the event, and those are guys I've seen at Masters pretty much. That's the only reason why I really know them. So I'm going in not not having the knowledge of players or player level that I would otherwise be comfortable with if I were going to an event close by. So um, I I kind of maybe threw out a comment or two to the people that I know, which are very good players. Uh, Dale Motley to say one of them, and maybe he made a comment about how he's uh, ready to win the belt, which is the trophy for the best team. So I, made a slight comment back, and then this Canadian, again, like I said, I don't know everybody, but some guy named Alex Coos comes back and says that I'm not allowed to talk anything if I'm not even going to show up to the event, um, which I get. It's, you know, Canada reading doesn't always add up. So I politely tell him, hey, I am actually going to the event. To which he replies, "Oh, well, don't get used to seeing your name above mine." And right then and there, I'm like, dude, I don't even know you, man. But looks like I'm about to because our teams are playing each other first round. So the $20 that I slipped Corey to say, hey, give me that guy right there. I want to put it. It paid off. So I appreciate you, Corey. You're the man. Yeah. So we got team A or eh. I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be funny, but yeah, it's some Canadian guy, and I feel bad for his three teammates. I again don't know that. I actually don't know them. But yeah, Alex drug him along and picked a fight well above his weight class. So yeah, so we're about to drop the tro on him, and we're just gonna go over some lists here. So we'll start with the team that's gonna win this matchup, and then we'll go over the other team, uh, team A. So my list here. I'm playing elves. If you've watched any of my battle reports before, you'll see the ones right before this were this exact list. So I got a regiment of Sea Guard, a horde of Sea Guard with the Chant of Hate, a troop and two regiments of Silver Breeze, horde of Dracons with J Boots, two Battle Cats, a Bolt Thrower, Elven Archmage mounted with boots of Levitation and Alchemist Curse 4, got Nimue, and then I got the formation. One of the Tempests has the Pipes of Terror. The other one has, uh, the Lord on Drakon has the Trickster's Wand. So we got 14 drops for elves and 22 unit strength. Yeah, I had fun playing this list the last weekend. Uh, got some pretty good matchups, I would say, and didn't roll the best, but came away with some pretty good wins. And I was definitely playing as if it were a blackjack scenario for most of them, even though it was just win, loss, draw. So I would say I have some pretty good reps going into this, and definitely feel comfortable with the elves anytime I bring them out. So we'll go over to Roger. Yeah, the guy you should probably underestimate here. So Roger has a horde of men-at-arms with the Sacred Water. He has 2 regiments of Bray Hunters, the ones with the bows. He has 1, 2, 3 Order of Redemption, one with J-Boots. He has a Forsaken with Blessing of the Gods and Sacred Water. He has a Beast of Nature with wings and 7 attacks, as you do. He has 2 Pegasi. He has the Green Lady, and he has an Exemplar Redeemer tricked out on the winged unicorn with Trickster's Wand. So he's got 12 drops, 24 unit strength. Yeah, solid list. Definitely good. I saw a ton of other Order of the Green Ladies at this event, and yeah, it seems like a crowd favorite. You know what else we saw a ton of? Dwarves. So might as well let Eric Trowbridge bring his dwarves because he did halfway decent with them at Masters. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 Iron Guard with the Throwing Mastiffs. He's got 2 Berserkers regiments. He has a horde of Shield Breakers, Shield Breakers with the Blessing of the Gods. He has 2 Troops of Brox. He has 2 Flame Belchers. He has Golok's Fury, and he has 2 Dwarf Lords on Large Beasts. 14 drops, 27 unit strength, coming in strong. We got the exiled Goblin King of Shannon Shoemaker, who's completely rusty. Don't believe that he'll win a single game, so everybody should, again, underestimate him. He is playing his infamous goblins. So 3 regiments of rabble, 3 legions of chariots, 3 giants, 2 with the Slayer, 1 with the Rampage, 3 Troll Bruisers, Kuzlo and Madfall, Double King on Chariots, 1 with the Blade of Slashing. So he's got 15 drops and 27 unit strength. A little light for goblins, but I guess if you're going to take 3 giants, you got to spend points. So, yeah. And then we'll go over Team So Steve MacArthur is playing Ogres. Hi, Steve. I don't know you, but looking forward to meet you. He has a horde of boomers, a regiment of warriors, 2 hordes of siege breakers, a regiment of berserker braves, 2 goblin scout troops, warrior chariot regiment with J-Boots. He has a giant as well with the cleaver. This is going to be, I think, the 2 teams with the most giants, which is actually surprising. After playing Kingdoms of Men, I actually do respect giants quite a bit. So he has the triple sergeants all with crossbows, a berserker bully, and Nom Nom for 14 drops, 23 unit strength. We have then now John McCready, Sylvankin. Hi, John. Look forward to meeting you as well. Sylvankin with the only good unlock they have, so 3 regiments of Gladestalkers, a horde of Forest Shamblers. He has 2 troops of Silverbreeze, a Stormwind Cav regiment with Pathfinder and Brute Strength. He has 2 Greater Air Elementals, the Master Hunter with the Slayer item, and Doubletree Herder, Wilt Daddy on 1, Orbit Towering Presence on the other. 12 drops, 22 unit strength. Yeah, pretty solid Sylvankin list. Then we have another Ogres. Eamon I apologize if I mispronounced your name. Look forward to meeting you, though. He has the Thunderhead Brigade. So 2 hordes of shooters. 3 hordes of siege breakers with the waiver mitigation items. 2 regiments of braves. The big deal, he has a giant with a cleaver as well. Sergeant with heavy crossbow and orb, and Nom Nom. For an even more elite 11 drops, 22 unit strength. And then the man himself, Alex Coos. He is taking rats. So yeah, we should finally get a respectable drops. Horde army. Rats are extremely powerful right now. All the shock troops and the weapons teams. And oh, well, Alex has taken 2 regiments of warriors, 2 hordes of nightmares, 2 regiments of tunnel runners with J boots and sharpness, a warlock with alchemist curse, lightning bolt, um, mhm, brood mother with the orb and the blight staff, Mother Kryza, Scuds, and then the formation for 13 drop, 19 unit strength rat army. Alex, what are you doing? This isn't elite army. If you want to play an elite army, there's several others. Man. Anyway, Alex, if you don't play me round one, you, you just have to live with all the beratement for the rest of your life. This is probably one of your only chances. So I expect to see you in the first set of 2 pairings in our matchup come this Saturday. So looking forward to it, brother. So as far as team on team, I mean, I there's so many options of what can happen, and obviously not knowing the scenarios and not knowing the pool of scenarios, uh, it's really hard to say what's what in a matchup, team versus team. I do think that it sounds like everybody in our team is pretty familiar with playing against ogres, and feels very comfortable. So going up against 2 ogreless and then a rat army that actually duos as an ogre army effectively with, I mean, it's basically just 2 hordes of boomers and 2 chariot legions. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem all too scary as far as just matchups one on one go. We do have quite a bit of speed between my list, Eric's, or not Eric. Eric's not fast. My list, Roger's list, and Shannon's list. So it's going to be pretty tough for all these armies to really combat that speed. I think some armies are just going to get bad matchups, and I don't really see a terrible matchup on our end here. Um, like Sylvan have a decent amount of shooting, but only 12 drops still. Um, yeah, I just don't see them really, shooting through the dwarves. I don't see anything really taking on that dwarf list. That's just a nasty dwarf list that Eric has. So, um, and in all seriousness, Shannon and his goblins, like he's been running giants forever. This is something that he's comfortable with. And Roger, like I said, never played Roger, but you know, he's taken Centaur Bray Hunters, so just underestimate him, and he should be an easy win for somebody, right? No big deal. Um, yeah, but should be a fun first round matchup. We'll see who ends up on the top going forward and who gets the bragging rights. So looking forward to just the weekend as a whole, hanging out. I'll be flying out on Thursday and then leaving on Monday, so left plenty of room to relax and hang out and stay up later than I should be to see everybody over there. So yeah, looking forward to it. I don't really have any ties, so if you guys want to hang out or do something, would love to join you. So hit me up if you're going to be there. Thanks everybody for watching, and that'll be all for our Crossroads review. And I'll see you on game one when I get that pulled up, probably middle of next week. So thanks again.